Good day, everyone. Welcome to another learning session from Training Location. Thanks for joining us. We're an authorized disc distributor for Wiley Publishing, as well as a channel partner with the Ken Blanchard Companies. My name is Bill Harshman. I'll be your presenter today for this informative, approximately 13-minute video. In today's disc style lesson, we'll share a day in the life of a C or conscientious. And the intent here is to help people apply DISC wherever they are. For simplicity, let's call our C style Charlie. My goal here is to show you how to apply DISC wherever you are. Now, use of DISC is about choice and intention. For example, I can go around all day being a D, leaving other styles in my wake by not choosing to use DISC and not being intentional. Once you make the choice, it implies an intention to prepare for mutual, effective communication. Here's a quick review of a couple points before we start our day in the life of a C. Excuse me, I've always encouraged learners to maintain a couple important points of baseline knowledge. First are the cornerstone principles that we've discussed before. All DISC styles are equally valuable. Everyone is a unique blend of all DISC styles, and your unique style is also influenced by other factors such as life experiences, education, and maturity. Second is the basic DISC styles model. Now, a person's DISC style is decided by the intersection of two dimensions of observable behaviors, and those include body language, tone of voice, expression, and word choice. So the vertical dimension is known as your outward activity level, or I call it pace, described as either fast-paced and outspoken or cautious and reflective. Now, the horizontal dimension is known as your agreeableness quotient. And this means that those who are less agreeable place a slightly lower priority on concern or cooperation for social harmony, and we refer to them as questioning and skeptical. That's on the left end. Those who are more agreeable and who place a higher priority on cooperation and social harmony, we refer to them as accepting and warm. On the right end of this dimension, here's the key that I want you to walk away with. It's the interaction between these two continua, which forms the four quadrants or basic styles of the DISC model, and by which you identify a individual's DISC style. Now, our person today, Charlie, took the DISC assessment, which shows questioning and skeptical and cautious and reflective, making him a C or conscientious style. We see his descriptors inside of the dashed line outline inside of the C quadrant. Now, I want to start with a definition of conscientious that we're all likely familiar with. Oxford defines conscientious as of a person wishing to do what is right, especially to do one's work or duty well and thoroughly. I'd say, based on what I know about the DISC, that's a pretty good starting point from our daily lives. And for other words that may appeal to you, we go to the thesaurus, which include diligent, fastidious, meticulous, painstaking, complete, exacting. So with that basic overview and context, we can now look at the DISC and see what other details emerge for a conscientious style. Let's expand on what we know about Charlie as a C style from his DISC 20-page assessment results. We know he has a cautious and reflective pace and a questioning and skeptical agreeableness quotient. His priorities include ensure accuracy, maintain stability, challenge assumptions. He's motivated by using his expertise, excuse me, gaining knowledge, attention to quality systems and standards, and independent work. He fears criticism, slipshod methods, and being wrong. The visible traits might include precision, analysis, skepticism, reserved, and quiet. Limitations: he can be overly critical. He may have a tendency to overanalyze and may have a tendency to isolate himself. If he had a motto, it would be do it right. Oh, one more thing. Charlie can get stressed by having not enough or very little private time or dealing with chaos and conflict. and interacting with emotional or erratic people. These are some of the things that can create stress in Charlie's life. So now we have a pretty good description of our Charlie as he starts his day with other disc styles. So Charlie's first interaction of the day is a phone call with Dawn, a manufacturing supervisor at one of Charlie's customer companies. They're discussing a staffing need of Dawn's. The two have never met, and Dawn is hoping Charlie might have a recommendation for her employee need. Dawn says, to tell you the truth, the last guy we had in here just couldn't get the job done. I want someone who can just take things and run with them. I don't have the time to mess around with this stuff. I need to know that we'll have a pretty quick turnaround, so when we need something, we'll have it right there. So Charlie thinks to himself, okay, Dawn's fast-paced and outspoken. She asks for quick turnaround and is straightforward about her expectations. And she's questioning and skeptical, as evidenced by her forceful demeanor and her, shall we say, no nonsense attitude. So Charlie begins to track what he's observing on the phone call, tone of voice, expression, and word choice, and determines that Dawn's style is a D or dominant. So now Charlie can understand and track to Dawn's firm, strong willed, forceful behavior. Charlie recalls the model, which now shows him the following. He and Dawn differ in their pace. However, they share a questioning and skeptical agreeableness quotient. As the C, Charlie is about ensuring accuracy, maintaining stability, and challenging assumptions. And again, the motto, do it right. As the D, Dawn is about having forward momentum and variety, and Dawn likes to get things out the door quickly. Dawn's motto, do it now. So a C interacting with a D requires a little stretch, which I like to call stretch. It's to reach across that quadrant to another style. Charlie tends to be more calm and careful and may not appreciate when Dawn pushes insistently for results. Charlie's preference for a consistent, accurate work environment needs to be considered in order to collaborate with Dawn. So Charlie remembers from the webinar that if he needs to be more effective with a D style, as compared to the other styles, this is a unique relationship they have, a C with a D, he should consider talking to Dawn about the big picture and the bottom line rather than getting caught up in the details. Also, show Dawn that he can move more quickly when necessary. And last, Charlie can voice his concerns, but avoid pointing out why every idea won't work. So, armed with this disc knowledge, Charlie's much better able to understand Dawn's concerns and move toward processing a solution. Great. Charlie's next interaction is with Isaac, a new adjunct faculty where Charlie teaches part-time. He met Isaac at today's faculty presentations. Isaac teaches a class similar to Charlie's. Well, Isaac boldly approached Charlie right after Charlie did his presentation and said, wow, people are really impressed with your presentation. And it got me thinking, would you be willing to come to my class and do that same talk for my students? I'm sure they'd love it and would be fantastic to have you in there and get a demonstration of your teaching style. So Charlie is a bit busy, and the invitation could not have come at a worse time. Just then, Charlie remembers the basic disc styles model and notes that Isaac is fast-paced, enthusiastic, and accepting, and he's positive and focuses on people and feelings. So to Charlie, this identifies Isaac as an I or influence style. So Charlie knows the following. He and Isaac share neither pace nor agreeableness. We know Charlie from our previous phone call with Dawn, but how he interacts differently with an I as he did with a D. To Charlie, Isaac seems charming and enthusiastic and fun and social, optimistic, maybe a bit scattered and talkative. The I prioritizes enthusiasm and thrives on spontaneity. The I motto, as you guessed, probably, let's have fun. Now, as a C, Charlie exercises what I call a significant amount of stretch. This requires the most stretch going diagonally across a model like this, similar to that of a D and an S. So back to our C and I stretch. He reminds himself to be more effective with Isaac's style, I'll need to consider the following strategies. First, recognize the value of Isaac's energy and spontaneity. Next, focus on the positive and avoid appearing aloof. And last, join with Isaac's collaborative efforts to show that you don't discount the benefits of teamwork. So, Charlie's presentation was well received by Isaac's class, of course. Charlie realized that going forward, he needs to be more open to Isaac's creative solutions. However, also help Isaac see the potential consequences. And does Isaac know anything more about this thing called the disc? No, but he and Charlie certainly benefited from it. Charlie's last scheduled interaction today is with a new vendor, Samara. They have never met, and Charlie will host a Zoom meeting set for 1 p.m. today to discuss the vendor's offerings. As the meeting begins to wrap up, Samara shares, so these are the options that are left open, and you don't have to decide on them right now. If you want them and pick them up in a month or so, just give me a call. So Charlie's chosen to use his disc styles model again to see who and what he is dealing with in Samara. Wisely, he begins to track what he's observing, that is, body language, tone of voice, expression, and word choice, and determines that Samara is more cautious and reflective while also seeming accepting and warm, which we know identifies her as an S or steady style. Now Charlie can better understand and track to Samara's even-tempered, accommodating, and patient behavior. So Charlie knows the following. He and Samara share a pace of cautious and reflective, however, differ in their agreeableness quotient. We know Charlie's style already. Samara's S style is even-tempered, patient, and relationship-oriented, and the S motto is, let's do it together. Now, to Charlie, Samara seems calm, humble, compliant, and whenever there's a question, Samara's always patient and eager to help. However, Charlie's focused on facts more than feelings. The S approaches change cautiously and avoids rushing into things. Furthermore, the S wants everyone to feel included, so they may mistake Charlie's somewhat silent, detached approach as disapproval or dislike. As a C, Charlie exercises what I call a little bit of stretch, again, needed to be more effective with an S style, and reminds himself to consider the following strategies. Gain Samara's trust by showing interest in her ideas and opinions. Also, Charlie needs to remember that he may have to ask a few times before Samara will tell him what's really bothering her. And Charlie needs to avoid appearing too aloof, as Samara may take it personally. So the Zoom meeting concludes on time and successfully, with Charlie having not only a good understanding of Samara's style, but also a good understanding of what she brings to the table as a vendor. And does Samara know anything about this thing called the disc? No, but just like the rest of Charlie's interactions today, she certainly benefited from it. So I hope this interview has increased your awareness and knowledge and familiarity of the DISC, whether your needs include employee engagement, conflict management, team building, or just simply communication. DISC is a research-based, proven, leading training solution. It's impacted more than 8 million learners in over 130,000 organizations and through 14 languages in over 70 countries. DISC provides a quick, intuitive way to understand yourself and others. And DISC delivers immediate and lasting impact on the performance of people and the culture of organizations. And as always, my mantra is the key to effectiveness through DISC is understanding your and other styles, then using that knowledge for improved interactions. Here's our contact information. And before you go, I want to extend you a resource and a request. I'd be happy to send you a sample PDF of any of the DISC profiles that we've discussed over the weeks and months. And if you'd like to discuss a complimentary live webinar introducing DISC to your team or one of the profiles to your team or organization, please use the email shown, info@traininglocation.com. And check out our learning blog at this website, traininglocation.com. Before you close your screen, we always appreciate your like, share, download, and of course, for continued learning, please subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss any new content. Thank you and goodbye till next time.